Welcome to the Game Caddie Play Channel. I'm Scott Moeller, and today I'm going to play 18 holes at Birthplace, which is APBA's version of St. Andrews, the old course. And it is an unusual course in several ways, and I'll talk about that as we play this round. But just to give you some indication of some of the things that you have to deal with when playing Birthplace, and these are all features of the APBA golf game and the course specific rules. These are not Game Caddie issues per se, but there are things like wind bushes, and there are a few APBA courses that I've played that do have these nasty wind bushes that if you hit into them, it's really easy to lose your ball or to have an unplayable lie. You also, on this course, have deep bunkers, both at fairway distances as well as greenside. And then perhaps the most unique feature of Birthplace are the individual hole wind charts. And let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to open up the Birthplace booklet that I've got. And I know some of you, if you own this course, may have the same booklet, or you might have individual sheets. I got this course quite a while ago when APBA was releasing all of their courses in booklet form. And if you look over here to the lower right, you'll see that here are the wind bushes that are described. This is what they look like. There's really nothing here on the first hole that classifies as a wind bush. I would say that this is not a wind bush. This is, even though it's a similar color, this is more like stadium seating or something along those lines. It's not really clearly defined here. And then, of course, you have the deep bunkers that are here. Again, no deep bunkers on this first hole. But what you do have on this hole and on every hole at Birthplace is you have these individual hole wind charts. And depending on whether you have moderate or blustery conditions and whether you have type A, type B, or type C winds, then you'd use one of these three columns, and you'd either use the right side of the column or the left side of the column. And I'm just going to roll and see how all this works out. We may or may not be using these, because if you end up with a calm wind conditions for the day, then you ignore these whole wind charts and just play as you normally would with the APBA wind boards. Okay. The other thing I do want to say that makes this course unique to play is that normally what you would do is you would establish the day wind, like we talked about, calm, moderate, or blustery. And then before each hole, you would determine what the wind effects are for that hole. And with Birthplace, you actually do that before each shot. And you do that for every player. And as you might imagine, if you think about that, that's a lot of dice rolls, and that can really slow things down a bit. I guess the one advantage that you have with Birthplace with respect to wind is that you never have any variable winds. So you can have quite a lot of wind depending on the things that I've just talked about, but you'll always know what the wind effects are before you take each shot. And of course, wind can affect any shot that is 50 yards or farther out. Okay, so let's go over and take a look at the Game Caddie. And I'm going to make myself disappear here because you know what I look like, and the Game Caddie is far more interesting to look at than I am. So what we're going to do is we're going to play. I happen to be on Caddie 1 here, but I'm going to play today using Caddie 4, because you can pick any of these. There doesn't matter which one or ones that you select. And I've got Ian Woosnam as my player, and you saw his player card on the opening shot. He's got an average W of 6, an average I of 5, momentum of 2, bounce back of 3, one sand point, and he has an A rating for shot making in both directions, a clutch of 3. I won't be using that today, and a scramble rating of 1. And I just want to come over here and check the scramble adjustment to make sure that everything is reset back to the way that it normally would be. It is. I'll hit reset just to demonstrate that it can be done that way. And the reason I did that is that prior to playing Birthplace, I played some other courses that did have some scramble adjustment effects, but Birthplace does not. And I have selected the 4-wood and 2-iron and 3-iron as his additional clubs to go in the bag. All right, so really the first thing that we want to do is come over to the conditions tab and figure out our pin number and our day conditions for the wind and our course conditions. And before I do that, it's always a good idea to check or double check your configuration settings. So I'm going to do that first. We're going to play with the master game rules. We're going to use master lie types. The alt hole and club distances, we're not going to make any changes to either of those, so we'll just keep that at original. And the wind controls do need to be set to modified. It's optional whether you choose auto roll or not. Again, I like to have the Game Caddie do as many dice rolls as possible for me. And then importantly, you have to check this on each shot so that you get a wind rolls menu every time you open the all-in-one menu when you're out 50 yards or farther. Okay. And dogleg procedure, I'm going to stick to the original, turn this little feature off there. Everything else, I think I am going to leave. Nope, I'm going to change the IR scramble back to original, and we'll stick with the regular putting boards because these are some of the largest greens you'll see on any APBA course, and we don't need the added difficulty that the major championship putting boards impose. So I'll apply those settings. Okay, so I'm going to click here to establish the pin number for today, and that's going to be a 1-die roll of 4. So I've got to cycle through all of these. And I like to do it a little bit slowly because if you do it too fast, the Game Caddie gets mixed up and tells you you can't click where you clicked. And that's an Excel issue. It's not a Game Caddie issue. Okay, and then the day wind. This is an I-rated course, so we're going to be using this column here. The number is a 41, which means we're going to have moderate wind today. So we'll click that. And then the course conditions is add 2 dice is an 11. That's 6 plus 5 is 11. So we've got wet course conditions. So we're going to lose 10 yards fairway roll and lose 5 yards green roll. And that's going to make things a little more difficult for me because I'm so accustomed to not having to make those adjustments. I am likely to forget about them. Okay, now we need to have Birthplace loaded here, and I can load it, here or any of these slots. I'm going to go ahead and load it into course 4 here. And we're going to hit import course, come over here to Birthplace, and click close, and that'll import Birthplace into that course 4 tab. And here in the special features is what I was talking about in terms of what the wind bush rule is, and then what happens if you're in a deep bunker. And then over here, there's one other thing relative to wind that we need to take care of before we get started. But because we have moderate wind conditions, we're going to be using those individual whole wind charts that I pointed out before. Okay. Just one other thing I might add: if you don't have Birthplace, and you get it from APBA, in the old days anyway, they used to include a set of additional rules for Birthplace that in different language told you the same things that are in these special features boxes. I've edited them for length, but tried to maintain the intent of what those rules are. And if you don't get that from APBA when you receive the actual course, you can go on their website at apagames.com. And if you click around, you'll find a place where there are downloads, and you can get those rules in a PDF form that way. And there's no extra charge for that. Okay. So let's figure out whether we're going to have a type A, B, or C wind. As you can see here, rolls of 11 to 35 use type A, 36 to 54 use B, and then 55 to 66 use type C. So what I'm gonna need to do is go over to a screen that actually has a dice roller on it. So I'll just go back to the conditions tab, and I can click on this dice roller here, or I could do Control D, either way. Let's see what we get. We get a 44. So that means that we're going to have type B winds. So because 44 falls between, let's see, 36 and 54, use type B. What that means is that we'll be using the type B, which is this column right here. And because we have moderate winds, we're going to see the M/B. We're going to be using the wind ratings that are to the left of that slash. To the right would be for blustery conditions. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our pin location up here. As I recall, it was a 4, which is pretty near that stream there and not too far off the center line. And, you know, this hole from a strategy standpoint can be challenging to play if you're a grip it and rip it type player, right? Because look what happens here. You get up here to 275, and if you're at all right of the center line, you're either going to be in that creek or you're going to be out of bounds. So the ideal shot needs to be over here somewhere, even though that's going to leave you slightly short-sighted. You don't want to risk being near the out of bounds, of course. But you also, you know, with different pin placements, let's say it was the pin placement back here, at number 6, if you're short-sighted, then you'd want to have the option of being able to work the ball. That's not really going to be a factor for us on this hole. But what I'm saying is that if that was the pin placement, you probably want to hit here so that you had enough distance left on your second shot where working the ball is permitted, and working the ball, you know, far enough to make a difference. But we won't have to deal with that ourselves. Okay, let's get down to business here. Come back here to the Game Caddie and go ahead and load this hole. And you'll remember that we have the modified wind controls, and we're using auto roll, and we're doing wind for each shot. And that's a little bit different outcome in terms of how things work versus what happens when you don't do for each shot. Okay, so normally with the for each shot, when that's not checked, what would happen with the modified wind rolls is that the wind rolls menu would automatically pop up. That would be the first thing that you would see on the screen. But with the for each shot setting, that doesn't happen. At least not until you click the all-in-one menu, or, you know, press Control Q, you know, use one of the hotkey combinations to open the all-in-one menu, right? But once we click on this, what's going to happen is that the wind rolls menu is going to appear. Now, for Birthplace, we're going to limit all of our entries to the user specified result. Okay, so this is something that in essence overrides anything else. Okay, the user specified result. So we can see that our auto roll gave us a dice roll of 34. And if I come back here to the wind chart, remember type B, and a 34 would fall along here. So we're going to have a carry of 10 and 5 right as our setting. Go back to the Game Caddie, and I'm going to put 10 in the carry box. I'm going to try to put 10 in the carry box. There we go. And then 5 right, and just click continue. That's all we've got to do. And we'll do that for every shot where wind is a possibility. Okay, so this shot is already going 5 right, and I said that we want to go pretty far left, and we don't want to go too far, certainly not past the 275-yard mark if it's going to be anywhere close to the center line. Let's see. I think what I'm going to do, since I'm not worried about working the ball on this particular shot, I'm going to go with the 4-wood, and I'm going to aim pretty far left. I think I'm going to aim something like 40 left. Now, we will have an aim distance adjustment of 10 yards because of that. But we got that extra 10 carry, from the wind itself. So just go ahead and take the shot here. The only hole notes we have are shots from gray road areas play as normal shots from sand. Okay, so we'd remember that if we end up on the road. That's only at about the 110-yard mark here, so that's not likely to be a factor. Okay, well, we're going to, I think, be happy we didn't use a driver on this because I got a horrible roll here. A 34 is a 14 in the W column. And let's see where this shot goes. So you can see what happened is that shot went 25 right, and with all of our aiming, we're just going to end up a little bit left of the center line. So 220, left 10, roll 10. 220, left 10, roll 10. It's going to be right there. At 230, left 10. Put the 10 in there. And click fairway. Now, I'm going to open the all-in-one menu. And you'll notice that it cleared out our previous wind, and it's looking for what the wind's going to be for the second shot. And we got a 54 here. Coming back, the 54 is going to be plus 15, 5 right. Put that in there. Come on. Oh. There's a little bit of a delay from me hitting the keystrokes and things showing up. I'm not sure why that's just happening. Hopefully it's not a keyboard issue. Huh. Come on. The 5 doesn't seem to be. What if I put a different number? Okay, now it comes up. I'm not sure what the delay is there. Huh. Well, this is going to be frustrating if it happens all day long. I don't know what that's about. It's more my computer. It's not a Game Caddie thing. Okay, we'll click this. All right, and so we got the wind here. So our carry objective now is only 115 with that wind. So that would be a gap wedge, essentially. Let's look over here. We don't want to come up short because then we end up in the water. So a gap wedge of 120 with that wind would hit about here. It would back up 5. That sounds great, but boy, if I'm short at all, then I'm going to be backing up into the water. I don't want to take that chance. So, and if I hit a pitching wedge, that'll get me more distance. If I knock it down, That's going to get rid of some of that wind, and it's also going to shorten the length of that shot and perhaps put me in exactly the same position that I would have been with the gap wedge. So I'm going to hit a pitching wedge and not do anything. I'm just going to let the wind do its thing. This is going to perhaps take me a little bit to the right, but I'm not going to work the ball. I'm just going to hit a straight out pitching wedge here. And a 64 is a 5, so it would have been fine, you know, had I known that in advance. A 5 goes left. That's his average eye. I'll just leave it alone, take the shot. So it's going to go 375 on the center line. So that's going to be 15 yards past the pin spot. Oh, I forget. See, I told you I would forget about this. We've got these wet green conditions, right? So this is going to back up 10. That would have put me in the water, and it was on the screen here. I just wasn't paying attention to it. It had a -5 in there, and with the shot, it is another -5. So those two -5s come out to -10. So this is going to go. It's going to end up at 365 after I put the -10 in there, but it's going to be on the center line. So let's take a look at where that is. So that's 350. So I'm going to be one diagonal away. Yep. All right. Come back here. All we need to do is put a 1 in the putting caddy. Click the count button. 10 feet away. Ball on green to count the stroke. And let's go over to the putting boards. These are the regular putting boards. That's what I want. 10 feet away. I'm going to go for it. 53 is a 17 from 10 feet. That ball is in. 1 to 18. So birdie the first hole. Nicely done, because I played conservative and didn't pay attention to the wet course effects that's there. So a birdie to start out. Let's go on to hole number 2. And now that you kind of understand how Birthplace works with the wind and everything, I'll pick up the pace a bit here. And this is going to be an example of a hole where we've got the pin location way off the center line. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40 yards off the center line and near a deep bunker. So we want to have a good angle, if at all possible, coming in to take that second shot. All right, what else we got? We got a fairway bunker here. That's not likely to be a factor for his tee shot unless we get a ton of wind here. And these are the wind bushes that I was talking about, where you can have an unplayable lie or a lost ball very easily. You want to avoid those if at all possible. Okay, let's come back here to Birthplace and load hole number 2. All right, let's see what we got with respect to wind. A 32. So a 32 is a +10 carry and 5 right. Hopefully I won't have trouble with the 5 again. There we go. All right, it's working now. Okay. All right, so, you know, he does have an A rating for working the ball, and I don't want to get near those wind bushes. So I'm actually inclined maybe to hit a little bit left, maybe 10 left. And then if the ball ends up where we're going to be short-sighted, he can work the ball pretty well. We'll do a driver, 10 left. Hopefully this will go a little right, but not a whole lot right. And I could use my momentum, but I hate to use it in a situation like this. So a 44, it is going to go a little bit right. That's a 4. I'm not, his average W is a 6, so that's, just go ahead and hit this. And so it goes 275, 10 right. This shot's going to be fine. It's going to be in the fairway. And then we're going to get 15 roll. So that's going to put it at 290 right 10. So that's good. The ball ends up right there. So great position. Got that good angle I was hoping to get. Update that shot. It's fairway. Let's see what the wind does for us on the second shot here. So a 34, that may have been the roll that we had last time. Let's see, 34. Yeah, 10, 10 carry, 5 right. So same wind. Oh, you got to put it over here. All right. And we want to go left, and that we counted that out before, right? That's 40 left. It says 40 left there. Probably won't aim all that far, but let's see if I aim. It's going to go 5 right. Maybe I do want to aim 40 left because that with the wind, it's only going to be really going 35. It's going to affect my distance adjustment by 10 yards. So 165. And if it's on the green, I'm going to lose 5 yards automatically. So a 7-iron would not get any roll. I would lose 5. That would put it at 155. A 6-iron would go 170. Normally that gets like a 5-yard roll, which would be canceled out. If I knock this down, that's going to get rid of some of that carry as well. This is where it gets kind of complicated. I mean, if you want to spend the time doing all the math, you certainly can. But I find that a little bit tedious. So I'd rather hit long than short on this because of the deep bunker I was talking about. So I'm just going to hit a 6-iron. I'm not going to knock it down. We're aiming 40 to the left. Let's just see what happens here. 13 in the I column is a 6. It's going to go a little bit more to the right. So the shot lands at 455 left 30. And then we get no roll if it's on the green. And I think it will be. 455 left 30. So 35, 45, 55, 10, 20, 30. It's going to be right there. And that is 2 straights away. Good enough. Put that in there. Do a calc. So 22 feet for a potential birdie putt here. And looking at his card, he's a good putter from distance. I'm going to go for this. 62 is a 15. He misses it by 2 feet. And then another 62, which we know is a 15, and that's going to be good for a par. All right. I'm happy with that. Let's move on to hole number 3. Okay, and let's see. We got some hole notes here. Ball's landing on green, right of the center line and beyond. Oh, excuse me. And before the 400-yard mark, roll back 10 yards and stop. Okay. All right. And then first putts from right of the center line and before the 400-yard mark, read result 1 column longer. Okay. Well, our pin location is 415, so hopefully neither of these come into play because we want to hit well past that 400-yard mark. Let's call up the all-in-one menu, see what kind of wind we're going to have to deal with. A 15. All right, so a 15 over here at Birthplace. In the B column, 11 to 16 is no wind. All right, so we have no wind for our tee shot. So we just leave it at none here. Okay. And now, let's see, where do we want to aim here? I'm going to stay away from these wind bushes. This is on the right side of the center line. We like to have a good angle so we can aim. So I'm going to aim over here to the left, probably with a driver. I don't want to go too far and hit this out of bounds. But I'm going to say, maybe that spot there, and that looks to be about 15, 35 yards maybe, somewhere in that vicinity to the left. Maybe not that much. I might be, see, I'm going to do, I do 25, I'll only lose 5 yards on the distance, but I still could end up in that. So let's do 30 yards. Let's do 30 yards left. Okay, aim 30 left. That's going to cost me 10. All right, I'll hit the driver. Let's see what happens. 14 is a 13. So it goes left 60, 250 left 60. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I got past those deep bunkers, and then I didn't notice the roll. The roll was 20 yards. So we'll go 20, 10, 20. All right, so we should be at 270 left 60. That's fine. We're in the fairway. We have a good angle. No big deal. Yep. All right, let's look at our win for the second shot. 36. So 36 is plus 10, 5 left. I'm going the wrong direction there. Plus 10, 5 left. All right. And, that pin is 15 yards off the center line. I didn't have the ball marker on there, but I will next time you look at this. So I think what I want to do is I want to aim 15 to the right, because that wind's taking me 5 left. So let's put 15 to the right here, and that's going to cost me 5 yards. So 160 is my carry objective. So that's a 7-iron. So that's my club. 52, not a good roll. 29, who knows where this is going. 410, so I got past the 400-yard mark. 410, left 15. I'll be on the green, but nowhere near the pin, and there's no roll if I'm on the green. So 410, left 15. 410, left 15. 85, 95, 405, 410, 1, 2, 3, with no roll. So I'm going to be one diagonal and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straights away. Well, this should be quite a long putt. So 87-footer for a potential birdie. We'll play that one safe. Here goes 15, good roll. So a 10 from 87 is a 2-foot putt. And then 46 is going to be a 26 from 2 feet. Of course, is good. All right, another par. I'm okay with that. Let's move on to hole number 4. You can see that there's pretty ample fairways here at Birthplace. You just end up a long ways off the center line sometimes. So Birthplace, hole number 4. And we've got, different colored crosshairs once we get up around the green. All shots that bounce continue the remainder of their roll in the direction of the bounce. That's referring to these two notes up there. Okay, let's look at our wind. So at 13, that may be no wind. Let's go back over here to the course board. 13 is no wind. All right. So we'll just leave that the way it is. And in terms of shot planning, we want to go left. Don't want to, of course, that if we hit a driver, he's not going to reach that. He could reach that spot. No, unlikely. Even with a 31, he's not going to reach that because we don't have any wind. So the rough or intermediate rough spots here are where we could end up, or well up here as well. But we're going to just aim generously for this spot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim, what's that going to be? About 45 yards. I'm going to, just so I don't lose too much, I'm going to aim 40 yards to the left. I could end up in this. I'm okay if I end up there. 40 yards to the left. Gotta find the aim box. There it is. Okay, we'll hit a driver. 55 is a 4. So this shot goes 255, left 25, 15 roll. So I think we're okay. 255, left 25 is there, and then 1, 2, 3, 15 roll right there. .270, left 25 in the fairway. Now we're going to be short-sighted here, but we've got other issues to be more concerned about. If we look at the course here, these are purple. These are the purple hash marks, and these are the yellow ones. So they're not on the green. They're in the fairway before the green. We just don't want to end up short here. So we want to make sure that we carry at least to the green, at least to the pin. Again, because we're short-sighted, I can work the ball if I want to, maybe 5 yards to the left. But I'm not inclined to do that, just because working the ball is such a risky deal. Let's see what our wind is here. Oh, so we're going to have no wind. 11 is none. 11 to 16. Okay. So we'll just close that. 200 yards. 3-iron carries 195. With wet conditions, it's not going to roll a lot. Maybe 5 yards, 10 yards. Not quite sure. Yeah, we need to hit at least a 3-iron. And I'm not going to work the ball. I'm just going to hit a good old 3-iron. 22. Well, he got all of it, I think. That's going to be a 4. It's also going to go to the right here. So 470, right 5. So we go 5 past the pin location, and we're right 5, and we get 5 green roll. So that should be, I think, a diagonal and a straight if I do that in my head. But let's just do this. 470, right 5, and then roll 5. Nope, I'm wrong about that. It is diagonal, 2 diagonals on a straight. Yeah, that makes more sense. And so for a par, we've got a 53-footer. We'll play that safe. 24, that's going to be a 28 for sure. 28 from 53. That's going to leave it 6 feet away. Oh, we could 3-putt this. Let's see, what's the other number? Oh, 22. So we're fine. 22 will be a 5. And from 6 feet, obviously, that's in. Okay. Whoops. It wants to put Ian's name in there every time FBI. Okay. So another 4 strokes. Okay, we're still at 1 under. Let's load hole number 5 here. once you kind of figure out what you're doing with Birthplace, it plays relatively quickly. You know, what can subvert that, of course, is if you end up in those deep bunkers or wind bushes. But we're playing conservatively to avoid that. See what the wind's going to be here on hole number 5. 42 is just a 10 carry. All right. And let's go back now and look at the hole. Again, this is another hole you want to hit to the left. Want to avoid these deep bunkers. So I'm going to aim out here. I could aim like 50. I could end up, this is still, even if I go off the edge of the board here, it's still fairway up here if it comes to pass. I just want to avoid this. So I'm going to aim 50 to the left. All right. I keep trying to put it in the wind box. 50 to the left. Okay. 590. All right. So 50 left. Driver. 10 carry on the wind. All right, let's go. 62 is a 6. That'll take it to the right. I'll just leave that even though it's his average W. So this shot's going to go 250, left 35, 15 roll. Left 35. I think these are all 30. Some of these older courses, they didn't do it that way. Yeah. All right. And then, is it 15 roll? Can't remember 3 numbers in my head at the same time. Yes. So, yeah. So that's where the ball ends up. So that should be 265. Left 35. Yep. And we're in the fairway. Now, this is a par 5. So we're not going to probably reach this green in 2. I mean, it can be done with some players for sure. 52. We're going to get plus 15 carry. That helps. That might be able to. We're not going to get to the pin location, which is way back here. Let me show you. So, you know, that's like 315 from where we are, but we might be able to get it on the green up here. And I'm not going to try to get too clever. I think I'm just, since this would be putting it on the green in 2 for a par 5, that means, you know, even 2 putts, I get a birdie out of it. I just want to get it on the green. So I'm just going to aim for the center line, or let that be the targeted location. I'm not going to aim at all with this, and I'm going to grip it and rip it forward. Not convinced that he can get there, but particularly with wet conditions. But let's see what happens. 65 is a 7. So this shot goes to 495, left 10. Yeah, this is going to be the fair. He's only going to get 5 roll. So he couldn't get there. 495, left 10 with 5 roll. So 500, left 10. But now we got a good angle. All right, I'll take it. He's 95 yards, so we're approach range. I still have to roll for wind here because, you know, it's 50 or more that you can have wind. And this wind will not be cut in half. So let's open the all-in-one menu. 54. Plus 20. All right, this is going to make an interesting situation. All right, so it's going to carry 20. All right, so you'll notice that the huge difference now between the target and the distance. right now, the default target is 585, right 20, which is where the pin is, and that's because I have a good angle. But now I've got to really back off on this target, because if I left that as the target, where that ball would go up with a perfect shot is 605, right 20. It's going to go, because of that wind, it's going to go 20 yards past that pin location. So unfortunately, what's going to happen here is that when I back off, instead of getting full wind effects, I'm going to get half wind effects, and that makes the math again a little bit more complicated. But you know, you can play around with it. You know, so let's say if I do 565 here instead. Okay, now my target is going to be 585, right 20. That's 75. So I'm okay. I think 75, as I recall, the rule is 75 to 100 is full wind effects. And then if it's 70 to 50 inclusive, then you have the wind effects. I think we just got real lucky on that. Sometimes I forget the exact number, but I think that that's right. So I'm just going to leave that the way it is. I'm going to go right for the target at 75 to 100 as my call distance. Let's take the shot. Number's a 41, which is a 6. That's normally a good number for an approach shot. Let's see where this ends up. It ends up at 585, right 20. So it's on the pin. Let's do the calc. 4-footer here for a birdie. All right, it worked out perfectly. Players the putting boards. A 36, not a great number. It's a 24, but from 4 feet, that's in. So we got a birdie on that one. All right. We're now 2 under after 5. Let's go into hole number 6. All righty. Transfer hole 6. And let's look at our wind. Looks like we're going to have more crosshairs to deal with on this one up in front of the green. All right, so 52, coming back here to our little chart. 52 is going to be 10 carry, 10 right. Okay. And let's look at where we want to hit. Once again, we want to hit to the left, which is true on many of these holes, right? Our pin location is going to be, whoops, get the right marker here. It's going to be up close to those hash marks. That's not fun. And we're probably going to be short-sighted here because I don't want anything to do with this business over here. So the key is whether I can sort of thread the needle here between this and all this over here. So I am going to hit a driver, but I am going to aim. Let's say I'm going to aim 25 to the left. Try to put it right through there. Oh, we've got 10 right. So I'm going to aim 35 to the left to account for that wind. And you can see up here in the WI shot planner that now it's got us at, you know, in terms of planning purposes, it's got us at that 25 left CL. All right, we'll hit the driver. We won't worry about that till we get up there. And this is, let's see, add 5 yards roll to all other shots landing on the green. Okay. So we'll deal with that later on. 22 is a 4. So I think we did thread the needle there. 265, left 10, 15 roll. So I'm just going to put the 15 roll in there. So 280, left 10. Right there. And we'll update this. We're in the fairway. And let's see what our wind is now. 12, maybe no wind. Let's see, 12, none. Okay. Get rid of that. So I'm short-sided, left 15. Don't want to be short on the shot, and that ball's going to roll backwards some probably. So a 9-iron would go 140, and it would roll back 5. I'm fine with that. So a 9-iron, and I'll go ahead and I'll work the ball. I'll work the ball 10 to the left. All right, so 9-iron. So 56, oh boy, is an 18 for the shot, and then 43 is an 11 for the work the ball number. So 415 left 20, and I back up 5. Hopefully I'm not on those hash marks. So 415 left 20. All right, so that's going to be 415 left 20, and then back up 5. I'm okay. That hash mark is just to the west and south of where that location is. You might not be able to tell that from where you are, but right there, you can see there's no hash mark there. And the pin is, I'm going to be one diagonal away. So I want to just double check. 415 left 20. Yep, that's what I did. And then back up 5. Yep. So one diagonal. Again, for a birdie opportunity. Oh, add 5 yards roll to all other shots landing on green. I missed that. Okay, so let me get rid of this. So if we add 5 yards to that roll, I'm actually going to be one straight away. Come back here and show you. Yeah, so I forgot to add that whole note in there. So the ball, instead of being here, ends up being right there. All right, even better. So put one straight here and click the calc button. 12 feet. Can I get rid of that? Yeah, hang on a second. Let's do it this way. Get rid of that number because it may have added that to it. So one straight. 3 feet. Okay. All right. So 3 feet for a birdie. Double ones. Well, it wouldn't have mattered which distance I had chosen. That ball's going in. That's a 3, so that's in. All right, another bird. Wonderful. Let's go to hole 7. Okay. Again, we still have a couple of momentums. Balls landing, rolling onto red crosshairs. Those are in front of deep bunkers over here, which are also in front of the green. But essentially that ball's going to roll into those bunkers. So think of these bunkers as being bigger than they really are. Okay. Let's look at our wind. 46. 15 carry, 5 left. Again, the wrong direction, but okay. 15 and 5. Okay, so where do we got a dog leg here too. So this is a normal dog leg at 240. So that means shots to the inside of the dog leg are going to carry left, which is not a long hitter, but we do have that 15 carry. This is not a long hole, 371, right? Of course, that's to that point there. It's going to play longer than 371 for us. It's going to be more like 400. But I could use a 4-wood, right? And if I can get it over here, then again, I have a good angle. So maybe a 4 wood and aim something like 20 left. And if I go left of the dog leg, it won't have any dog leg effects. All right, so let's try that. Aim left 20, and I'm going to use a 4 wood. 25 is a 5, which is going to go left even farther. So let's see what happens here. So 245, left 35, 5 roll. So 35 would be there, and then just 5 roll would be right there. Yep, fine. I'm happy with that. So 250, left 35, fairway. And our wind, 44. Again, carry 15, 5 left. Having a little trouble controlling the mouse. That's because my CPU is pretty taxed at the moment. Okay, so 135 is the carry objective. 9-iron, and then it'll back up 5. That seems like the club I want, and I want to aim 15 to the left. To the right. No, that ball's going to be blown left. I want to aim 20 to the right because of this wind. And so in essence, what I'm trying to do, if I can get the mouse to cooperate here, I'm trying to put that ball right about here. Okay, so it might land here, back up 5, and with our aiming and the wind effects, would put the ball right about there, which would be 1 straight away. That's my thinking, but we'll see what actually transpires. Oh, you know what? If I aim, I'm gonna have a distance adjustment if I aim 20 to the right. Yeah, so that 9-iron, it's going to be more like 1 diagonal away because it's going to make me a little bit short. Unless I hit an 8-iron and knock it down, and that's going to be more like 1 foot, but it's going to affect that wind. It's one of these things where I'm too lazy to think through all the math on all this, and it just slows things down too much. So I'll just do what I'm doing. I'm going to stick with the original plan, although probably the best that will happen is I'll be 1 diagonal away. But who knows? 35 is a 5. I'll take the average eye on that. Take the shot. It's going to be 390, right 15, and then back up 5. So I think that's exactly what happens. It's a diagonal away. 390, right 15, back up 5. Right there. Yep. I'm okay with it. So that I clicked this button twice because I didn't think it was responding. So I'll make 17. It added those 2 numbers together and it came up with 31. Right. So I'm just gonna change this to a 17. You wouldn't get 31 with just 1 diagonal. That'd be out of range. All right, ball on green. There's the putting boards. From 17 feet, he'll go for it. 64 is a 23, is 3 feet. And at 53 is a 17 from 3 feet is in. So another par. Okay, hole number 8. And, when you're playing on your own and you're not making a recording, you won't be experiencing some of the problems that I am. When you make recordings, it takes up so much of your CPU that things don't always happen in the speed that you are used to and expect them to. And so if you're a little bit impatient like I was there, you can double click when you don't need to or aren't supposed to. So hopefully some of the things that you're seeing here, you won't encounter when you play. Hole number 8, like an uncooperative mouse. Okay, so this is a par 3. Let's see what our wind is. Rolls a 33, and 33 is, we lose 5, so we got a little bit of a headwind here, -5. Alrighty. Now, add 10 yards to shots that land on green. All right, so I don't know whether the shot will or not, but I'll put 10 in there, and that'll make this. Now we have 5 green roll to start out with. So 185 is our carry objective. That hole is way over here. I am going to need to work the ball. I might say work it to the left 15, maybe even just 10. Maybe just 10, because I do want to end up on the green. I don't want to end up over here in the fairway somewhere. So, I'm not really going to play this all that aggressive. I'm just going to work it 10 to the left. Nice thing about working the ball is there's no aiming distance adjustment. So 185 with these clubs, a 5-iron. Yep, I'll just hit a straight old 5-iron and work it to the left 10. That may roll me 5 yards too far as I think about it, but that's okay. A 13. A 13 is a 6. Well, that may actually work in my favor. And then the work the ball numbers, oh goodness, a 52 is a 29. That won't, well, who knows what will happen with that. So 170 left 15 with 10 green roll. This might be fine. 170 left 15 with 10 green roll. 60, 70, 1, 2, left 15, 10. I'm 1 straight away. How about that? How about them apples? As my dad used to say. All right, 1 straight. So while I wasn't really playing for a birdie, it may be a possibility. 12 feet out. We'll go for it. 12 is a 22 from 12 feet. No such luck. That's going to miss by a foot. That second roll number is a 21, and that is a 21. That's obviously good for a foot. So we ended up with a par there. Let's play hole 9. Okay. This is going to be a short par 4. Hole 9. And let's see what kind of wind we've got. $51. 51 is -15. So we got a bit of a headwind here. Okay. So, well, we're not going to reach the green, of course. And boy, what do we have? All kinds of problems with this particular hole. I mean, things that can get it. These are the wind bushes, deep bunkers. You can see that these have these little brown edges to them, which mean that you have to play safe if your ball ends up there. Oh boy. I think I'm going to, because I want to cut down on some of the variability here, I'm going to hit a 2-iron. And I'm going to aim. Am I going to aim at all? No, I'm just going to hit a 2-iron. I'll just hit a 2-iron. I'm going to lose some distance on that 2-iron, aren't I? Maybe a 4 wood. Yeah, because a 2-iron would go 205, that's would go 190. And this will end up going 215. Yeah, let's hit a 4-wood. I'll just hit it straight down the middle. 33 is a 4. That's going to go a little bit right. That's fine. So 225, right 10, 5 roll. Perfect. Right there. I even have a good angle. And what kind of wind do we have for our second shot? 45. Another minus 15. Okay. So 135 is our carry objective. A 9-iron, and it backs up 5. That's what we want. We want to not. I'm going to aim 5 left. I'm going to do a 9-iron and hit the ball. 33 again is a 4. Probably went a little bit far here. So 360 on the center line and back up 5. Yeah, so I'm going to be, I think, a diagonal away. 360 on the center line. That's there. Back up 5 yards. So right at that spot. Right there. And that's one diagonal. All right. 15 feet away, ball on green. Clears the putting boards, and we'll go for it. Let's get another 33. No, 43. 19 from 15 feet. Oh, 1 foot too long. So he's going to miss by 2 feet. Well, 1 column too long is what I meant to say. And then a 63 is a 26 from 2 feet, and that's it. All right, another par. So after 9 holes, we're 3 under, 100% fairways, 100% greens in regulation. Just the way I like to play. All right, grab a glass of water here. And we'll move on to hole number 10. So you can see Birthplace is kind of a fun course. You know, once you kind of figure out its idiosyncrasies and how to get the Game Caddie to work using it. And it's not difficult to play if you understand what you're doing. Now, having said that, I've managed to avoid bad luck, and I've got a really good golfer that I'm playing with. And I don't want to sound at all cocky about this because things can go south in a heartbeat. All right, let's look at the wind. It's always the first thing you do, really, when you're playing Birthplace here. 53. 53 is 10 carry. I keep going to the wrong place there. 10 carry. Continue. All right. So now let's look at what we got here. More wind bushes over here, deep bunkers over here. You know, the shot itself is again, a short hole. I'm going to end up short-sighted with this pin placement unless I end up over here, but I don't want it to have anything to do with this side of the center line because of those wind bushes. And I don't want to hit too long here. Let's see. I think I got 10 carry if I remember correctly. So maybe I'm not going to get much roll because of those wet conditions. I'm going to hit a 4-wood. And in fact, I'm going to aim 10 right. 10 right? Let's aim 15 right. I'll aim 15 right and hit a 4-wood. So that'll give me a little bit of a distance adjustment there. 4-wood. I can deal with being short-sighted. Oh, yeah, first putts read one column longer than actual distance, okay? And then we got this business with the ball. If it lands or rolls in the fairway past the 325-yard line, that would only occur on my second shot if it happens. Okay, 24 is a 7. So that's going to go a little bit left. So because I aimed 15 to the right, it ends up going 230, right 5, roll 5. Right there. Okay. So we'll record that shot. And now the question is, well, let's see what the wind is here. 54. That's probably some wind. Let's see. 54. And 15. Okay. So now we got a carry objective of 120. Gap wedge will go 120. But that'll roll back 10 with this business going on. So a pitching wedge is what I want. And now just the only question is, do I want to work the ball at all? Oh, I'll work at 5 to the right. Maybe I'm getting a little greedy here, but we'll do it. Pitching wedge, working the ball 5 to the right. Let's roll the dice. 36 is a 17, and then 46 is a 6. Yeah, so this is going to go way right. So 380. So I'm going to be on the green, but nowhere close to the pin. 380, right 20, and then back up 5. All right, so that's 370. So 380, right 20, 10, 20, back up 5 would be there. So I'm a diagonal and a straightaway. And I got to read this one column longer than actual distance. Okay, so put the ball on the green. So what that means is, of course, instead of using this column here, I have to use this column there. And I think this is just for the first putt, right? Yeah, first putt. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it safe. 54 is a 31, and that would have been 8 feet away. 31 over here. Oh, playing it safe, sorry. 31 would have been 4 feet away. 31 is still 4 feet away, reading it one column longer. Okay. And then my second roll, not a great one. 46 is going to be a 26. 4 feet, it's in though. Right on the number there. Of course, I was going for par, so it would have been good up to 27. All right. I'll take it. Let's move on to hole 11. This is going to be a par 3. And we got some hole notes here we got to deal with. But let's look at the wind first. 64. Okay. 64. It's going to be plus 20. Wow. Can you imagine if we had blustery conditions? It would have been plus 40. 20 in here. Okay, the whole, so balls landing, rolling onto red crosshairs, roll the nearest point and sand trap and stop. Okay, so those red crosshairs are going to be around the deep bunkers. Shots landing, rolling on green, on or right of purple line, roll 15 yards right. Okay, so there's like a little slope there. And the slope I'm talking about is this line right here. So whatever you do, you don't want to go 10 right or more. You're going to roll an additional 15 yards to the right. So we want the ball to either be here or on the center line. And we want to avoid that deep bunker, which is at like, 155, 160, because that rolls back into that. So we need at least a 165 to get past that deep bunker on the carry. So and this rolls backwards. Well, I said a 165, but that wasn't taking into account the wind. So the wind is, we need at least a carry of 145 to get past that deep bunker. So if I cut this in half, if I knock it down, so that 170 becomes something like a 165, and then this wind becomes a 10, so that's 175. That's still too much club. If I do a 7-iron, well, it's going to roll backwards 5 too. Let's see. Yeah, so I think I'm going to hit a. Oh, goodness. So that becomes 175, 65. I don't want to go too long either. But this is I'm right in the gap here in terms of what I want to do. So I'm going to hit a 6-iron knockdown, and that's going to change that 20 to a 10. Now it won't show up here, but it will use 10 in the calculation of the wind effects instead of 20. I don't want to hit short, but I don't want to go over the green either. So let's just see what happens. And I'm not working the ball. I'll just leave things alone. So 14 is a horrible number. That'll be a 15. So 170, right 20. So I'm going to be way to the right here. So 170, right 20. And then because of this, I'm going to roll another 15 yards to the right, but I have no green roll. So that's going to end up at 170, right 35. 60, 70, 10, 20, then it rolls another 15, so I'm way down here. So I've got, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3 diagonals, 1, 2, 3 straights. So 101. And he could make it from that distance. He does have a 1 on his card. But if I play it safe, he can't make it, even if he gets a 1, right? It becomes a tap in at that point. But 101 is not a record for me, so there's no reason for me to do something that foolish. I'm just going to go ahead and play it safe. 52, it's a good thing I did. 21, he misses it by 6 feet. And then a 34, he's going to miss this. That's a 26. And that's a tap in. Yeah. Yeah, so he got his 3-putt there. All right, so we're back to 2 under. Because of that 3-putt. All right. C'est la vie. Hole 12. All right, well, at least I can use a bounce back on this one. Let's see what the wind is. I had quite a bit of wind lately, 35. 35 is minus 10, 5 right. All right. That minus 10 doesn't help us. So he hits a driver 255. That minus 10 means it's going to be 245. Watch what happens. 245 is like right in here. Could he thread the needle on this? Say that ball also, does it go? I think it goes 5 left, doesn't it? Or no, it goes 5 right. Yeah, 5 right. So if I hit a driver, that means it's, even if I take the average W, it's going to be 15 right. And if I don't, it'll be 20 right. Maybe I can go around that. So 245, 15 would go there. Oh, look at that. So I can't use my bounce back here, at least, and not use a driver. I can probably, I might be, yeah, I can use it for maybe a 4 wood, because I think that'll get me enough distance. 4 wood would be 230 minus that 10 is 220. That would put me there, and then I won't get enough roll to reach that. Yeah, so I will take the bounce back. All right, we'll just take it up there, just record it. I'm going to take a 4 wood. His average W is a 6. Take the average W there, the bonus, and take the shot. So this is going to go 220, right 10, roll 5. So right there. Let's put this marker here. And I'm going to be short-sighted, unfortunately. All right. Let's see, I got to put the roll in and update. Fairway. All right, so let's see what the wind is for the second shot. See, first putt's from right of pin 1 and before 340. Wow, okay. 1 column longer. So 56 is minus 20, 10 right. This the area that we have to, if we end up down here, we got to do 1 column longer. So minus 20, 10 right. Okay, so 140. It's a 9 iron. It's going to back up 5. That pin's at 345. It says before the 340-yard mark, not at the 340-yard mark. So that would put me at 340. If it backs up, if I get that. It's already got me aimed at 10 right. All right, this is a little bit of a gamble. I'm going to go ahead and hit a 9 iron, and hopefully I don't come up short. I think I've done everything right here. Who knows? 25 is a 5. Okay. So I'll take that average I. So 345, right 10. It's right on the pin, but then it loses 5. And that puts me at 340. But this says, doesn't say equal to 340. It says before 340. So I should be 1 straight away. Should be right there because the ball hit there and backed up 5. Yep, 1 straight. Okay. Oh, and I'm not right at the pin anyway. I thought I said right at center line. I'm okay. So this doesn't apply. All right, 1 straight. Lost my focus here. 10 feet for a birdie. Let's get this one back. 10 feet, going for it. No, boy, that's like the 3rd time I've rolled 46. 26 and 10 feet. 3 feet. And a 51 is a 23. That's going to be good. Pardon that hole. Let's move on to hole number 13. Another gigantic green in this case, and then this time we're going to have our pin sort of right close there to a small deep bunker. Birthplace 13. And you can see how, you know, doing all these wind rolls, you know, does slow things down a bit, even though that you have no variable wind. 64. Okay. All right. Let's see what that is. So 64 over here is going to be minus 25 left. All right. And now we want to look at what the course. Wind bushes down here. All kinds of problems over here. We're already headed 5 left. I hit a 4-wood, it'll end up somewhere here maybe. If I hit a driver, I might get past those wind bushes even with a bad shot. But do I want to take that chance? No. And you got rough over here anyway. So I think I'm going to hit a 4-wood. I'm going to aim 10 to the right. Let's see. Maybe do I want to go 15 to the right? Maybe 15 to the right. I'll lose some yardage, but that's okay. Let's do the 4-wood. 36 is a 15. Well, let's see if we saved ourselves at all. So 190 left 10. I think that's going to be close enough to the center line that I'm okay. 190 left 10, and then roll 10. That's obviously 200 left 10. So let's see where we are. 190 left 10. Yeah, I'm okay. 200 left 10. I'm just to the right of that deep bunker there. Not much of a shot, I mean, in terms of distance, but that headwind didn't help. Another fairway. And how about the wind on the second shot? And we're going to be short side. 54. Okay, 54 is minus 15. So our carry objective is now 260. I can't reach the pin location. I don't want to end up in that deep bunker there. This is a par 4. You know, I'm not going to get there. I could possibly get there. I guess I'd really like to put the ball somewhere on the green, but more like here. Although, even if I had to chip from there, I could at least get it fairly close. All right, but I have to work the ball because I have a good angle, so I can aim in this direction. But if I want to hit to the other side of the center line, I would have to work the ball. Maybe try to put it here. Yeah, okay. Lots of possibilities here. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit a 2-iron, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to hit a regular old 2-iron, and I will definitely come up short with this. 35 is a 5. So 395, left 5, and then 10 roll. All right, it's okay, we're on. But that's a long ways away. So let's count the diagonals. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. No, another long putt. Hopefully we don't 3-putt it. .133. That would be close to a record. But I also don't want a 3-putt, so let's play it safe. 13 is a 25. That's 7 feet away. 21 is a 21. For a par, that's in. Or par or worse, that's in. And that was for a par. So good thing we played it safe. Okay, all 14. And let's look at our wind. And this pin location is going to be way off the center line too. 61. What's with all these wind rolls? 61. Another headwind, minus 15. All right. And now let's look at the course. Okay. This is what we want to avoid. Out of bounds. Okay. Look at this. It's really right at the center line, at all from 235 on, you're out of bounds. So we're going to try to avoid these things, but I'm going to use a driver. Of course, I'm losing because of that headwind. I may very well put it in a deep bunker over here, but I'm going to aim 50. This is 30, 40, 50. I'm going to aim sort of for the center of that, right? Thinking that the ball will either go right or left. I'm going to aim, this is a par 5. I'm going to aim 50 to the left, I think. Yeah, because I've got no other wind there. So 50 to the left. I could use a 4-wood and just hit up short of all that stuff. Think about that for a second. I'm not going to get much roll at all with this, right? So I'm going to hit a driver. It's a little bit risky. These notes up here, aiming is allowed on all second shots, even if not going for the green or the ball is short-sided. Okay. And then first putts from on or short line. Okay. Let's go. Let's just see what happens here. 64 is a 6. And I am not going to take the average W on that, because I think what I can do is I can skirt those deep bunkers. So 225, left 35, 15 roll. So that should put me at 240, left 35. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even get to the debunkers, really. Again, 225 plus 15. It's 240, left 35. So I'm okay. And I'm not out of bounds. All right. Now, let's see what the wind is for the second shot. Oh, my goodness. 65. Okay, 65 is minus 20 headwind. This is a long enough hole without having to deal with all this wind. All right, so what I want to look at is how far is it to get to these deep bunkers, right? So I'm going to put 480 in here just so I can see what that distance looks like. All right, so 480 up here in the WI distance calculator, where I am currently. That's a 250 yarder. With a 4-wood, he's not even going to get there. So, I mean, worst case scenario, I could end up in rough probably. Maybe that regular sand trap fairway bunker that's over there to the left of the center line, or I could end up in those wind bushes. I'm just going to hit a grip it and rip it 4-wood. Am I going to aim? I don't want to hit across that center line for any good reason. Well, maybe so I'd have a good angle for my next shot. But the problem with that is if I get over there into those wind bushes, and I don't want to do that. So let's just take our chances. 36 again, 15. All right, where's this going? It's going left. 425, left 20, 10 roll. Right, that's intermediate rough, and then 10 roll puts us in the regular rough. Okay. So I'm at 435, left 20. Yep, regular rough. Now I am going to have to work the ball. Let's see what the wind is. 43 minus 10. Well, at least the wind's going down here. So I'm going to carry it. Oh, I've got a buried lie. I didn't notice this. So I've got a buried lie, which means, oh goodness, I can only use a maximum of a 7-iron. All right, well, let's register the wind. Use a 7-iron. That's all I can do. I can't work the ball. I could aim, which I think I will do. I will, because I want to have a good angle. So I'm going to aim 15 to the right. It's saying I'm short-sighted, and that's why I'm getting that warning. So I'm just going to tell it I'm laying up and then do that. All right. 7-iron. Let's take the shot. 45 is a 6. And so 565, right 5, no fairway roll. Right there. All right, so we've got that good angle now. So now I don't have to worry about working the ball. And I'm 65 yards out. There's nothing around that pin unless I get a horrible shot. So I am just going to go directly for the target. And we'll approach from the south. I could have wind on this. Let's see what happens. 44 to minus 10. So I am going to have 5 wind. Minus 10. Because it's going to be cut in half from that distance. And you see it shows up as a minus 5. Okay, so now it's got the target there. So I really need to target 625. And that'll make that 620, left 25, which is where the pin is. That's what I want. Now we're hitting from the 70. So it's the same call distance, really. So no big. All right. 12 is a 14 in the A column. So this goes, oh boy, 630, left 30. So I'm going to not even be close. 630, left 30. So left 30 is 630, right there. So I'm a diagonal and a straightaway. Got messed up by that, deep bunker, or not deep bunker, the deep rough, or the buried lie. That screwed everything up. And I'm not short of that red line. I'm well past that red line, so I don't have to worry about that. From 29 feet, I'll go for it. 15 is a 10. Ah, missed it by a foot. Second roll is a 56, which is a 24. And of course, that's good for 1 foot. So I took another bogey. All right, we're 2 over on the back 9, so only 1 under for the round at this point. Let's go on to 15. And our wind. Maybe use another bounce back here. 32 minus 5. All right. And there's nothing to get me in trouble here, I don't think. So I'm gonna take another bounce back. That would be my second one. I'm gonna put a 6 in here. I'll take my average W. Bonus, okay, and we'll just take the shot. So it's going to go 250 right 10 with 15 roll. That's going to be 265 right 10 in the fairway, and I'll show you that. So 265 right 10 is right there. Pin location is way back here. All right. All right, let's take the second shot. Wind, the 55, minus 15. Okay, now our carry objective is 225. 2 iron's not going to get there, but it would get me on the green. 4 wood would possibly get me there, but also might put it in the deep bunker behind the green. This is such a big green. I'm just going to hit a 2 iron, and I will aim. I'll aim 10 to the left. Here we go. You got some crosshairs there, but I think we're going to avoid them. This is a 4. Oh, I didn't select the club. Oh, what did I say? I said I'm going to take it a 2 iron. Yeah, 4. Okay. So 465 left 5. This actually worked out better than I thought that it would. It's because that's because I got a 4 instead of a 6, which would be his average W. So yeah, so 465 left 5, 10 roll. So that's going to be 475 left 5. That means I'm going to be 1 straight away. And ball ends up right there. 1 straight. Wow. 4 feet. Well, hopefully I can get that birdie back or get that stroke back. Let's go over to the putting boards. From 4 feet, 25 is a 14. From 4 feet, of course, is good. 20, up to 26 there. So that's in. All right, that makes me happy. So back to 2 under. Let's go on to 16. And now we got a bunch of out of bounds here to worry about, both on our tee shot and for especially our second shot. Load hole 16. I do have a momentum. Man, he's got an even number there, right? So it kind of depends what's going on here with the wind. Oh, 66. Let's see, minus 20. Okay. Not crazy about that. All right, let's take a look at the hole here. All right, so with the minus 20, let's see. Okay, I got to look at this. So 255 is his driver, but that's going to be actually 235 because of that wind. So and if I shave off 5 yards, so 235 left, right 10. Okay, that actually just misses the out of bounds. So I can do this. Now, do I want to do it, or do I just want to hit over here? And then, maybe have a good angle, but I've got momentums, right? And I might as well use them, because if I don't, I just waste them. So 235 left 10 is just, there's a little bit of space there. So I missed that out of bounds, and I'm just going to roll a little bit to that point there. All right, so let's do it. I didn't have any wind blowing me right, which helped. Okay, so use the 1 momentum. I'll use a driver, put a 6 in there, reduce that by 5 yards, take the shot, 235, right 10, roll 15, and we know that's in the fairway. So 250, right 10, fairway. Go ahead and mark the ball. That spot right there, which is just above or to the left of the out of bounds marker there. I could possibly blow that up, but I'm not going to take the time to do that. All right, so let's look at the wind for the second shot. .45 is -10. Okay, so now I've got a carry objective of 170. And we got some hole notes here. So first putts on green from on or short of red line, read results 2 columns longer. And then double any remaining distance after such first putt. Okay, so, you know, basically what that's saying is you don't want to end, this is that line that's referring to, you don't want to end up on this side of that line. If you're on the line, I believe you're subject to that too, from on or short. So we have to really, unless you're on the pin, of course, if you're on the pin, then that overrides that consideration. But basically we want to hit long on this. So we want to carry the full 170 on this. And then if it rolls some, that's fine. We don't want to roll backwards, that's for sure. A 6-iron would be the minimum club to do that. And I'm inclined to not take that risk and go ahead and hit a 5-iron, but I'll knock that 5-iron down. And I can't aim. I don't want to work the ball because I don't want to run the risk of hitting it out of bounds there. So 62 is an 8. See, that comes up a little bit short. That still may not be enough club since I'm knocking it down. Let's see what happens here. So see, it's a little bit short. 405, right 5, but then I get 5 green roll. So 405, right 5, 5 green roll. I think I just put it on the pin. 405, right 5, 5 green roll. Yeah, because that pin is 410, right 5. So, yep, I put it on the pin. Oh boy, was that lucky. Was that lucky. So I just have to roll the calc. And I've got a 4-foot putt for a birdie here. And I can ignore those hole notes. Wow. You know, it seems like, you know, several of my birdies have come just from sheer luck. You know, it wasn't like I was trying to really make a smart play to be aggressive. It was more like I was trying to make a smart play to be conservative, but then it worked to my advantage. So at 22, that's in. That probably would have been in from any distance I would have otherwise had anyway. So that's a 5 on this card in a P column. So that's in. So another birdie. Another chance to use another momentum point if I want to. Coming up to hole number 17, which also has out of bounds, especially on the second shot. So let's load hole 17. And I'm pretty sure I transferred those numbers over. Let me double check it. The scorecard here. I'm pretty sure I did that. Yeah, so 16 is already in there. Come over to Caddy 4, and we got a bunch of notes up here with lines, not hash marks, but with different lines. And the wind, let's have no wind for a change. 12, okay, that might be the case. 12 is no wind, thankfully. Okay, and we really want that to be the case probably on the second shot. So just get rid of that. Momentum. Yeah, I'm going to use it. Why not? Hit a driver. That'll be my second momentum. It's not often I have momentum this late into a round. 6, take the average W here. And this shot goes 255, right 10, and then rolls 15. 270, right 10. And this kind of no man's land there, but it's clearly in the fairway. And boy, then we got this pin location over here that's close to the road in the out of bounds. And you got all these hole notes that can really slow things down. All right, let's record the shot. Yeah, first things first. And fairway. And the wind for this one. Again, no wind, please. 26. I think we're okay. 20. Well, maybe not. I was thinking of calm wind or blustery wind conditions for regular stuff. 26. Oh, no wind. It is. I am okay. All right, so close that. And got to choose a club here, and I got to figure out my distance. 230 is the carry objective, but you got all this stuff going on here. Shots landing on green, short of yellow line, roll 5 yards back and stop. Okay. Balls resting on yellow line, roll back 10 yards. Okay. Well, see, the yellow line is in the front part of the green here. Okay. So you can barely see it, but it's that spot right there. That's the yellow line. Of course, this is going to be another one of the lines. Shots landing on green, on or left of red line, roll 5 yards left. So it would have a tendency to roll off the green. And then shots from deep side green bunkers, you have an extra penalty for being in these particular or this particular green side bunker. And it's pretty small, but it is sort of pin high there. So I don't want to rule it out as a possibility. And then shots from the road are considered a sand lie. Okay. So I don't want to hit a 4-wood. I almost want to lay up here. So a 2-iron, I'll run into the problem with the yellow line, probably with the 2-iron, but I would rather have that than hit the ball out of bounds. So I'm just going to hit a 2-iron. I'm not going to aim. Well, I'm short-sighted. I'm not going to work the ball. We'll just hit the 2-iron, see what happens here. 61 is an 8. This is really going to come up short. All right. So this is going to go 465 right 5. And then it's going to roll 10. I actually got it over that line. I didn't think I would with that. So that's 465 right 5. And then it rolls to that spot there. So I'm actually over that line. So I'm not affected by any of those particular nodes. Wait a minute. Did it say landing on green short of? It might have said that. Yeah, shots landing on green short of. Okay, roll back. Okay, so I'm wrong about that. So let me back up here. Okay, so let me get rid of that 10 yards. And so instead of doing what it rolls back to here, which looks to be on the green. It's certainly on the edge. I'm going to say it's on the green. From that distance, it's not likely to be made with my next shot anyway. But I am going to say that that's on the green. And I'm going to say that I am therefore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straights and 1 diagonal away. So I've got 116 foot putt here for a birdie opportunity. I will play it safe, believe it or not. All right, let's see what we get here. 26 is an 18, and that's going to be missed by 5 feet, which isn't horrible. Next roll is a 12, which is 22. From 5 feet, that's in. Okay. So got a par on that hole. That's a really difficult hole. So I'm not at all upset about that result. Let's go to the last hole here. So far, so good with Birthplace. Let's do 18. And our wind. 53. Minus 10, 5 left. Click continue. Okay. So what do we want to do here? We got out of bounds on the right. So in all likelihood, not going to have a good angle here for this particular shot. And if I hit a long driver shot that goes over here, I'm going to be too close to work the ball. So I might want to hang back a little bit, but I don't want to end up with the ball over here on the road. So I want to make sure that ball carries at least 235, because we'd have to play this as sand. Let's see what that leaves us in terms of options. So 4-wood doesn't get us there, unfortunately. 230. And it's even worse because we lose 10 yards. I could hit it on, I suppose, the south side of that road and not roll, and then have quite a long second shot. That's a possibility. Could do that. What to do? All right, so this is maybe a really unusual play here. I'm going to aim 10 left and hit a 2-iron. No, I'm going to aim 20 left and hit a 2-iron. So let's see how that goes. 24 is a 7. It's going left anyway. So I'm going to be 185 left 30, 10 roll. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be fine, but I'm just going to be a long ways away. So 185 left 30, 10, 20, 30, and then 10 roll, I think I said. So it should be 195 left 30 if I remember all that correctly. Yeah. I think I've got 100% fairways for this round. Let's see. Okay, so any wind. Oh my goodness, here we go again. 66 is a minus 20 left 10. Well, the left 10 I like. Minus 20 left 10. All right, so we need a carry objective now of 185. We got hash marks to get shots landing or rolling over purple crosshairs, roll back 5 yards and stop. So I don't want to be too far left. So I'm not going to work the ball at all. I'm just going to leave that 10 left. And then 185, a 5-iron. I will get no roll with that, so I'll be a little bit short. But if I hit a 4-iron, I don't know. That will probably, I don't know, maybe a 4-iron is a better play. I'll hit a 4-iron. I have room to go a little bit long. I'll just hit a 4-iron, and I'm not going to do anything else. Hopefully I won't get a result that's a 31 or something. 25 is a 5. It's maybe a little longer than I want to go, but let's see what happens here. So it carries to 355 left 15. I think I'll be fine. So 355 left 15, and I'm going to get 5 roll. So and we can see how this is going to work. So unless I hit that hash mark, 355 left 15. Let me move this out of the way. I did not. So that's 350 left 15. That's 355 left 15, and then that's 5 more roll, making it hard to see there. So I should be 2 straights past. .335, 345, 350, 350. Yep, 2 straights past. Oh, I clicked twice again. When will I learn? So there was no first number that came up. I'm just going to do this again. 25 feet. Okay, serves me right. All right. Oh, 25 feet. 25 feet. Okay. Players, the putting boards. 25. I'll go for it. What the heck? 61 is a 16. It's going to be a miss by 3 feet. And a 42 for the second roll is a 23. And that's good up to 28 there. So that's in. So we ended up getting a par on the last hole. All right, so let's look at how Woosnam did. All right, so Woozy actually finished the back nine even par, and he was 3 over on the front nine. So we finished the round at 3 under, which is a decent round at Birthplace. This is not one of the tougher courses once you understand how it works. And that's mainly because you have known wind effects, and it's just a matter of not playing overly aggressive and avoiding things like wind bushes and the out of bounds if you can. But it takes a little while to adjust to the fact that sometimes you're going to aim 50 yards off the center line. It just seems, it just doesn't seem like what you would do, but that's how you have to play it. So he got every fairway, 100% fairways. Greens in regulation, I missed 1 or 2 here. So yeah, somewhere along the way on hole 8, I missed that was a par 3, missed the green on that. And then over here on 14, which was that par 5 where I had the buried lie, I didn't get a green in regulation on that one either. But 94% greens in regulation, I'll take any day of the week. I didn't pick 2 holes for average driving distance, which I could at this moment if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that, but you can select that at any point along the way. Longest drive was 290 yards. He's got an average W of 6, so that's not great. It's not terrible. Longest putt made was 15 feet, and then a total length of putts made 76.5 feet, and then his average driving distance for all holes, not counting the par 3s, was 244 yards, which again was influenced certainly by the amount of headwind that we encountered, especially on the back nine. Okay, so that's how you play Birthplace. It's a fun course. I really enjoy it. And if you don't have it, I suggest you go get it. I know you didn't learn out do anything with wind bushes or deep bunkers on this particular video. I'm not sad about that. You did get to see how to do the wind settings, which is perhaps the thing that you might have the most difficulty with if you're not familiar with how to play Birthplace or familiar with the Game Caddie. So you got a good chance to learn how to do that. Until next time, grip it and rip it.